British middleweight champion Chris Eubank Jr. has come out and given his take on the Golovkin-Canelo situation, as far as Canelo vacating his belt rather than face Golovkin. Eubank Jr. says, "It did surprise me because Canelo was supposed to be this great, proud Mexican warrior. So for him to give up his world title belt so he doesn't have to fight another man, it's embarrassing, really. He shouldn't be doing stuff like that. He's a great fighter. He's got a great record and a great fighting style, and it would have been a great fight. Maybe he doesn't have the confidence that I have when it comes to top opponents. Maybe he'll fight him down the line, but for right now, it doesn't look good for him. It's one of those things where if you don't feel like you're ready, if you don't want to take the risk, then you have to give up what you've worked for. But it's a great opportunity for me. Golovkin has to fight somebody. This is the middleweight division. We are at 160. We can't keep talking about this 155. That's an excuse. He walks around at super middleweight or higher and he's cutting all this weight. You're a middleweight." Okay, that's what Eubank Jr. said. I completely agree. I completely concur with all that. Some people may say, well, hang on, Chris Eubank Jr., didn't you vacate the WBA interim belt earlier, a few months ago, rather than face Danny Jacobs? Didn't you do that? Didn't you drop down to British title level and take on Nick Blackwell instead of taking on the regular world champion? And I guess that's a fair point. Obviously, Chris Eubank Jr., I'm assuming this is how they would counter that argument. Chris Eubank Jr. is nowhere near as experienced as Canelo. He hasn't fought in all the top level fights Canelo's fought at. So, to them, maybe it's a more legitimate move. Chris Eubank Jr. is still in the process of learning, whereas Canelo's already at world level. And personally, I always felt as though it was the best thing for Chris Eubank Jr. to drop down and fight Nick Blackwell. I always thought that was the best thing. I feel like they're doing now what they should have been doing earlier on in Chris Eubank Jr.'s career. When Eubank Jr. was knocking over all these cab drivers and milkmen and postmen and all that type of stuff, he shouldn't have been doing that. He should have been fighting the likes of Blackwell, John Ryder, people like that. Spike O'Sullivan. The people he's been fighting lately are the people he should have been fighting earlier on in his career. So whatever the case may be, he's eventually fighting him now, and he's getting that grounding that he's always needed. Those tough fights that bring him on in incremental steps. And to me, that's the best way. I think it would have been a mistake from a career development point of view to take on Danny Jacobs. But at the same time, does it make him a hypocrite in the eyes of you guys? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.